गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यां तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः Number 20. सर्वभूतेषु येनैकम्
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकम्
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानम्
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं
नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान्
नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान्
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्
यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन्
यत्तु कृष्णवते कस्मिन्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
अतद्वार्थवदल्पम् च
अदत्वार्थवदल्पं च
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
नियतं सङ्गरहितम्
नियतं सङ्गरहितम्
अरागद्वेषतः कृतम्
अरागद्वेषतः कृतम्
अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म
अफलप्रोक्सुना कर्म
यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म
स्वाहङ्कारेण वा पुनः
साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः
क्रियते बहुलायासम्
क्रियते बहुलायासम्
तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम्
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम्
अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम्
अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम्
मोहादारभ्यते कर्म
मोहादारभ्यते कर्म
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
Once again, अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम्
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम्
नवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम्
अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम्
मोहादारभ्यते कर्म
मोहादारभ्यते कर्म
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते.
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
Yeah. So it's actually tamasam uchyate, not tamasa muchyate. There's a word called muchyate also, but here it is uchyate. So when we say, we have to be a little careful where we pause and things like there is a in Vedic Parayanam chanting, the swaras are important. Om Sahana Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Virjam. So three swaras are there. Only three. So these are all important. The importance of that, to highlight that, they say one particular mantra. And this guy, I forget the names of these people. This father, Rakshasas, this father wanted his son to kill Indra. Father wanted to
Vrittasura. Vrittasura.
uh, Vritrasura. Okay?
Vrittasura. Vrittasura.
Okay, Vrittasura is the father, I think, who wanted his son to kill Indra. So he said something. I wrote it down somewhere. Indra Shatrur Vardhasva. Indra Shatrur Vardhasva. May Indra's enemy grow in strength. May Indra's enemy grow in strength. Indra Shatruhu Vardhasva. Indra Shatrur Vardhasva. Like that you should say. Some exact thing I don't know. He said wrong swara. So what happened? In the wrong swara meaning what happened? Indra Shatruhu. That means what? May Indra, who is the Shatru of all, grow in strength. Like that. So yeah, his son got killed in the process because he chanted that mantra. Essentially, may I get killed by Indra, may I get killed by Indra. So two things we learn from this. One is Swara, when we chant Vedic Veda, in music also. Music, classical music, obviously you all know that. But here only three Swaras, not Sapta Swara. So this we definitely have to pay attention. Second thing we learn is what? Prayers are very effective. Okay, that's all by the way. So, Anubandham Kshayam Himsam Anavekshacha Paurusham. This is where we are. As we said, I hope you're following, right? So, three types of jnanam are being talked about. Through 17th shloka, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga have been summarized by Krishna. So, Krishna is now elaborating on a few aspects like jnanam, karma, then in 26 karta, then in 30 buddhihi, then in 33 dhritihi, resolve, the perseverance, all that he's going to talk about. So very practical. It feels to me it's all very practical, very useful in improving our lives and helping ourselves lead a fulfilling life. So this is all very useful. So we saw that jnanam, three types of jnanam we saw. Tatvikam jnanam, rajasikam and tamasikam jnanam. Then three types of karma from 23 onwards. Okay. Tatvikam karma, rajasam karma. We saw both of that. Satvikam, keywords there is aphala prepsuna, sangarahitam. The sangha he has to bring in aragad veshataha, ragad veshav vyavastitau, tayor navashamagachet, taukhyasya paripantino. So he brings that again here, raga and vesha. So now the last, number 25, we have to look at. Yat karma tat tamasam uchyate. He is going to explain what this tamasam karma is. So in our culture, this sattva, rajas, tamas is not going to leave us. And our entire psychology can be understood. Our entire culture can be understood with these three words. And in Ayurveda, they will say vata, kapha, and pitta. So it's a different type. This triad is very interesting. So here, tamasam. You can imagine now. So opposite, whatever is opposite of 23, the verb, the adjectives in 23 should be tamasam karma, right? And so here, a person who does not plan properly Just things just like that. Okay, all those attributes will come here. Look at this. Anubandham, Kshayam, Himsam, Anavekshya. The key word, verb there is anavekshya. Not paying heed, not paying attention to. Anavekshya. Attention to what we will see. But anavekshya means ignoring. Ignoring the realities, ignoring the basic things that are required to be paid attention to when somebody does anything. Anything we do. Okay. So what are the things he is ignoring? Anubandham, Anubandha, Anubandha. In Sanskrit, there is Anubandha means essay. You know, when you write a Nibandha is essay. Here, Anubandha is this thing. Connection, consequences, consequences, consequences of our actions. You know, you say something and then there's no accountability. Some people, they feel they don't have any accountability, but we're all accountable to what we say and what we do. And so, continuous, we pay attention. What happens? What if I say something like this now? Will some people get hurt? Suppose Meera and Narayanan come and all of us are there. Then I tell everybody, Narayanan is very intelligent. Means what? Narayanan is intelligent. Then I go one step further. Only Narayanan is intelligent. I put the salt in wound, you know, or what do they say? So this is called Anubandham Anavekshya. Guy doesn't know what are the consequences of his or her actions because we are talking about tamasam karma here. And so Avekshya, Iksh means to see. Sanskrit, Ikshate. So Preksha, you have all these words. So Iksh, to see. Preksha, to see properly is called Preksha. So they use some Preksha meditation and all they talk about. So that same dhatu, Anavekshya. Avekshya, seeing clearly. Anavekshya, ignoring completely. These kinds of consequences. What happens when we first join, new people who join work, just fresh from college, they come. And so they are given simple jobs and they're told what to do, how to do everything they are told. It's like a recipe. Just follow this recipe and come back. So they'll do whatever and then come back. And that's the best thing. That's the best way to learn. Takes a while, takes some 10 years before one matures to a point where one can begin to think forward, think strategically and all that stuff. And so during these times, sometimes they write emails. This is just very raw and very crude, not understanding the consequences of what they're writing in the email. So all these things we know. So Anubandham Anavekshya. And then at least there the person can be told, this is not the way to write emails. Emails, you be careful what you write, this, and we learn on that, but the hard way. Once I also did that. On this dharma, this dharmic Jay Kumar came and then said, you can't do this and you can't do that. And my boss called me up and he said, what is this? What are you writing? I still remember that. So be careful. I mean, you say, find a way to say it differently, right? So, Anubandham Anavekshya. Then Kshayam Anavekshya. Kshayam Anavekshya. Kshayam means what? Depletion, loss, you know, uh, unnecessary loss, shooting yourself in the foot, that kind of stuff. Kshayam. Kshayam Anavekshya. Hey, if you do something, it's a damage. You're causing damage to your own family and yourself and to others. Okay, that kind of stuff. And just spending like there's no tomorrow. I had a friend long ago when we were all studying for our graduate studies. Every time I go there, I don't know why. So this guy, suddenly he will buy some very expensive books and all that. These guys, the guy doesn't have any money because they're hardly getting $500 a month. And we can't save much from that. Maybe $50 per month we can save if you work, if you're very careful. Guy suddenly buys something. I said, what did you do? I just felt like it. I just felt like it. See this, I felt like it. Then you thought maybe it's just a, yeah, okay. So, and then suddenly another month, next again something you felt like it. And used to just blow up the money just like that. So I used to feel that, that was not necessary. So Kshayam Anavekshya, not understanding, you know, the, the impacts of what we do. Himsam Anavekshya. Kshayam is damage to oneself. Himsam is now damage to others also, family members. You tell this guy, you ask the guy, hey, your son, we have to, they're doing this project, the school is asking some money. Pay 500 rupees to take them to a trip and all that. Something will be there in schools and college, schools especially, colleges. He'll say, I don't have any money. But he is spending left and right for all his stuff. And but won't have money for paying for family expenses. So damage to the family. It's all lot of hurt. So Himsam Anaveksha doesn't understand that kind of activity, that kind of karma. And for us, dharma, that's why ahimsa paramo dharma. Very interesting. Very interesting. That means when you say, I'm committed to ahimsa, then suddenly the mind has to be super sensitive. Super sensitive. As an individual, I have to decide what is right, wrong. Then within a family also, I have to decide what's right, wrong. Then society comes. Then ecology comes. Panchamaha yajna becomes very easy if I keep my commitment to this ahimsa. And so himsam anaveksha, he says. And I mean, we can apply it to the society also. As a whole, we can apply. So as an individual, I must be committed to ahimsa. What about as a company? The company, they say they have to they have to maximize profits. But what are the things I should not do in the name of maximizing profits? So who talks about all this? So now they talk about ethics and corporate social responsibility and all that. That means before that there was no responsibility. Means responsibility was not written down. So it's tough. These things are important. And so for this is called holistic thinking. Holistic. And that's why many people say science is soulless. Soulless science. Because science is like that, and business is also soulless. And karo, make profits. And hey, you're throwing pesticides left and right. I was you go to America, you see funny things. There's all this. If you go to this pesticide, bags of pesticide is all stacked. Bags of fertilizer is stacked. So why? What do you do? What people do with this? So they need all that to maintain their garden. And then I saw some people, they'll put the spray, pesticide in the water spray, and then just spray it all over their lawn. I don't say it's wrong, but what happens? Look at the consequences. Anubandham, I wanted to talk about. Look at they spray it, your lawn looks good, all insects are killed. Within seconds, they're all killed. Then there is another group. One of my friends was working in a company, and that company, what they do is they introduce insects into the ecosystem. Introduce. What is this introducing insects? Because we use pesticides and finish off all insects, and we need animals, we need all these flying things, small creatures, in order to pollinate our flowers, pollinate our fruits, and this and that. Otherwise nothing will grow, and this pollination has been completely disturbed because of all our indiscriminate use of pesticides and other chemicals spray all over. So another company, they're making business, making money out of this, introducing regulated introduction of this insect and all. So I used to argue with that person. On the one hand, we kill all these animals, and on the other hand, we want to introduce animals. What kind of science is that? Like that, we used to have a discussion. So you can see all that is happening. So that's why if we can see in our family, we are very careful. What we do, we discuss, and then we plan things together, and then we help each other out, etc. We do what is best for any person. That vision, is it there when I look at society, when I look at the country, when I look at earth? Is it there? That is Panchamahayajna. Panchamahayajna will not work in a very purely consumption type society. It won't work. But that's a society that needs this kind of vision, I think. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and all they say here. So that's a very interesting view of society and things like that. Anyway, so Himsam, Anavekshya, this guy. And then one more thing. Paurusham cha Anavekshya. Paurusham. What is Paurusham? Not understanding what the person is capable of doing. One's own capacity is called Paurusham. Capacity to do anything, physical capacity, intellectual capacity, uh, financial capacity. Can I afford to do this? Can we afford to have an air conditioner in 5 rooms? Okay, we have to ask these questions. And so that is called Paurusham Anaveksha, not understanding. So they say, do not bite more than you can chew. This guy doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. So that's called Paurusham Anaveksha. And so one thing I noticed, all of you, that is my good students, you are all very good at this Paurusham. So like I get messages, no, guests are coming tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So next 3, 4 classes I won't attend. That means what? That means classy attending and entertaining guests cannot go together. It's too tense and it's a lot of work. Therefore, what happens when there's a lot of work like that? Vedanta becomes a casualty. Correct? So I know you, all of you, are all very good. Paurusham avekshya eva ahantaha sarvam sarve karyam kurvanti. So that I know very well. So you don't need to know all these things. Mohad arabhyate karma. So why does a person do like this? Because of moha. Mohat. Moha means muhadat, means confusion, delusion, ignorance, due to utter non-challenge, they say, all those things. So just some false hope is there. All grandiose. Everything I do must be grandiose. They get stuck in this grandiosity. And then in the process, all reason and logic goes out the door. So foolhardiness, all that you can bring here. So yat karma tat tamasam uchyate. That kind of karma, which is of this type, is called tamasam karma. So you see, very practical it is. Krishna is nothing, everything is very logical in what he says. Let's translate this, Pujya Swamiji's translation. That action, which is begun because arabhyate. So that action which is begun, not taking into account the natural consequence, loss, injury within brackets to others, injury to others, comma, and one's own capacity, because of delusion, natural consequence, loss, injury to others, and one's own capacity. You can say, put a comma there, I suppose, because of delusion is called tamasa or tamasic. Let's read that. That action which is begun not taking into account the natural consequence, loss, injury to others, and one's own capacity because of delusion is called tamasa. Yeah, Hemaji.
Is there another version, anapeksha? Of course, last week you said something about it. I forgot to note it. Anapeksha.
There is a Pata Veda. There's a Pata Veda.
That also means the same.
I don't think it means the same.
Because
But
there is one more
some
shloka, na?
there is some
Anapeksha Shuchir Daksha. There is one more shloka. That anapeksha.
that is fine, ma. But then here is whether they mean the same thing or not. So
Okay.
anapeksha, yeah, you can roughly say you can make it same. They both have the same dhatu. So apeksha means
Apeksha.
expectation. So you can somehow interpret it that. Maybe that's why there is a part of it also. All right, next.
And Guruji, that action which is begun not taking into account the natural consequences, loss, injury to others, and one's own capacity means you don't understand your power to hurt, or you don't understand the tamas in you that is projecting it.
No, biting more than one can chew. So I don't know if I can do something or not. So taking on too much or taking too little of a challenge. Either way. So we have to know what we are capable of doing. Are we able to do this? You want to buy a house or do you want to construct your own house? Some people do that. Some people say, no, I want to design it. I want to do it. So if you can do it, go ahead and do it. So are we able to do it? That kind of question. So that capacity, that the capability to do what we plan to do. That's all it is. And if we are not able to make our own assessment, then we are going to get into trouble sooner or later. Yeah. All right. Mukta sango naham vadi.
Mukta sango naham vadi.
Dhrityutsaha samanvitaha. Okay, you're muted. Somebody is muted.
Dhrityutsaha samanvitaha.
Siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha.
Siddhya siddhyo nirvikaraha.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Right. So now you've noticed he's moved on from karma and he has come to karta and he's going to talk about sattvika, rajasika and tamasika karma. So one thing, one advantage, major advantage of this dividing it into these three categories is what clearly Krishna is saying now is the greatest time to stop or avoid tamasika karma, tamasika jnanam, tamasika, whatever tamasika it is that he's talking about, avoid it completely. Reject it. This is not something that will suit me. Then rajasika karma will be there and sattvika karma. Rajasa, see, even to engage in karma yoga, you need to have rajas, you need to have initiative. Rajas implies initiative also. You have to use your free will and say, no, I must do it in this way. I must give up all these himsatmakam karma. I have to give it up and whatever. So that rajas has to be there. So rajas has to be invoked until I have antakarana shuddhi, significant amount of antakarana shuddhi. Correct? After that, I don't need that. After that, I don't need to push myself. It's automatic. It's automatic. And so, because Gita is moksha shastra. It is not Karma Shastra. It is not Dharma Shastra. Even though a lot of Dharma is talked about, it is not Dharma Shastra. Manusmriti is Dharma Shastra. Manusmriti is not Moksha Shastra. Okay. And so, Karma Yoga is introduced in Bhagavad Gita because Gita is not like Upanishad. Upanishad is very cryptic, only Jnana Yoga. But Bhagavad Gita has Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. That's why Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. So Yoga Shastra is also there. Karma Yoga Shastra. So this Rajasam Karma is a stepping stone for Satvikam Karma. Satvikam Karma also is a stepping stone only. It is not something that I should get hooked on to. Correct? Satvikam Karma. Not hooked on. Let's see here, okay? So here he's going to talk about Satvika Karta. Satvika Karma, etc. talked about. So now you already know the definition of Satvika Karta. Who is a Satvika Karta?
One
The
who does
Nisvartha
Satvik karma.
person.
One who does
Satvika
not
karma.
expect
Nisvartha person.
Yeah, one who does Satvika Karma is a Satvika Karta. Obviously. So, but it looks like Krishna wants to say a few more things. He has something in his mind. So he's and so Mukta Sangaha, who use okay, right. Anahamvadi, Dhriti Utsaha Samanvitaha, these attributes he's giving. Karta Satvikaha Uchyate. That kind of a karta is called Satvikaha. Okay. And so first Mukta Sangaha is going to bring the Sangha anyway. We know that. And what did he say before? Before he said Sangha Rahitam, he said. Sangha Rahitam Karma. Look at Shloka number 23, where he talks about Satvikam Karma. So now also he says the same thing. Mukta Sangaha. There, that was the attribute to karma. Here, the attribute, the adjective is referring to the karta. Therefore, he is saying Mukta Sangha. Mukta Sangaha. A person who knows that karma is a means, not an end in itself, that is called Mukta Sangha. We should not just imagine too many things. Sangha, I'm too attached, this, that. All that, leave it aside. Is karma a means or an end? If I ask you, what will you say? You should say, a karma is going to give karma phalam. Moksha is not karma phalam. Immediately you should say, my goal is moksha. See, my goal is moksha. Moksha is not karma phalam. Therefore, karma cannot give me moksha. Therefore, what is the use of karma? Hey, to survive, you need karma. Okay, that karma, therefore, niyatam kuru karma. For antakarana shuddhi, I need karma. After that, karma can be given up. That is why sannyasa ashrama is such an important thing in this pursuit. Okay. See, you can see, make all the connections. That is why Nachiketa is asking the question in Kathopanishad. He knows all these things already. Therefore, he is saying, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Okay, which means Anyatra karmanaha, anyatra akarmanaha. Dharma and karma go together, right? Both are two sides of the same coin. Dharma and karma. Okay. Dharma means karma phalam. Okay. So, therefore what? For a person who has antakarana shuddhi and wants this knowledge, karma becomes a barrier. It is a pratibandhakam. Barrier. That is why Shastram says now is time for you to be a sannyasi. Okay, sannyasi not ready yet. Okay, vanaprasthi. Good. So there itself, without changing the ashrama to sannyasa, vanaprasthi, you withdraw from all routine, typical activities that you've been doing for all these decades. And there's no need to be stuck to that. Mukta Sangaha. Look at those words. It is meant to told to a grahastha only. Hey, you have to be a Mukta Sangaha. You no longer are obligated. Don't obligate yourself to, or oblige. I don't know what the word is. Don't be obliged to do all karmas all the time. Vedic karma you must do, but other things slowly. and mukta sangaha. And therefore, why? Because karma will reinforce kartritvam. Atma is akarta is a message that is being given by the Shastra. So constantly, if I am a karta, then I will not have any idea of akartritvam. Kartritvam keeps on happening. And I won't be able to assimilate this message of akarta, atma akarta iti. Na jayate, mriyate, etc. So many things are being said. And so karma is an obstacle. That is why later on he's going to say in this chapter also, Sarva dharman parityajya. Very important shloka. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Sarva dharman parityajya. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Nachiketa, young boy is saying in different language. Okay. And so that's the beauty of. And because another student is asking the question. Not even asking. He is he is assessed Pariksha Lokan, Mundaka Upanishad number 1 to 12, if you want to make a note, 1 to 12. Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan Nirvedamayat Brahmanaha Nasti Akritaha Kritena. Look, this guy has assessed his life, analyzed his life, others' life also, he has analyzed, she has analyzed. And figured out one thing. What did he figure out? Nasti Akritaha Kritena. Hey, Akritaha, Atma is Akritaha, means it is not produced at all. And that's what I'm seeking. Kritena Akritaha Nasti. Hey, what already exists? Na jayate na mriyate, ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha. That thing can't be accessed by karma. Karma can only give me antakarana shuddhi. That's the maximum I can expect from. Karma can make me a better human being. That can happen. That is what I should use karma for. Use it. Do karma. Do desha seva. Do whatever seva comes to your mind. And keep on doing it until you say, till you turn it over to somebody else. And then let me focus on this Brahma Vidya. And so, there, Nasti Akritaha Kritena. What a statement. This is the student. Upanishad is saying about the student. Nasti Akritaha Kritena. Akritaha, Atma Akritaha. That which is not produced by anything. That which is not produced cannot be, there is no connection. You can't connect Atma to Karma at all either. So Atma Vidya cannot be produced by Karma. Even though a lot of study and all is involved. Okay? Because it's a statement of fact. And that has to be understood. So anyway, that's Mukta Sangaha. How important it is. So that person, such a person, and Swamiji here uses the word enlightened karma yogi. That's what he says. Means a karma yogi who now is as understood. It's a jnani. You can say enlightened karma yogi means jnani only. And that person is also an anahambadi. Ahamvadi. I think you understand this very well. Ahambadi. Ahamiti vadati. And Kalpadruma says, Ahamiti garvam vadati yaha. Garvam, aham. So there is a sense of this ahankara is there. Okay, I've done this, and there's this there is a, we call it, predominance of egoism is there. Okay, that is called ahambadi. He talks about himself, herself a lot. That kind of person it is. So, one who does not allow one's own successes, accomplishments, and blessings to get into his head. Blessing is good. Everything is a blessing. Let that go into the head. And I've met people. All of us have met people who are very simple to talk to. Until later on, you come to know, my God, this person is a big man in a big company. I never knew it because he was talking to me like a good friend. And for years, it used to be like that. And so that from them, we can learn these kinds of attributes. And so, ahamvadi means one who speaks only about himself, herself. So you can guess such a person cannot be a good psychologist. A good psychologist should be a good listener, This sense organ must be used. Only then you can be a psychologist, not this. So anahamvadi, one who is not haughty, egoistic, presumptuous, egotistic. What is egotistic? What is the difference between egotism and egoism? Egoism means what? Thinking of oneself all the time. Okay. The head being preoccupied by one's own activities, thoughts, plans, whatever. Egotism means taking on superiority, and therefore I am superior to others also. That is called egotism. But egoism has no sense of superiority, just about oneself, thoughts about oneself. Inflated sense of one's importance will become egotism. But just preoccupation with oneself is egoism. Okay? You can check the dictionary. So this kind of person is an anahamvadi, and so will not allow his own accomplishments to get in the way of normal relationships. And so that person has amanitvam, adambhitvam, all that in good measure that person has. And so that is why, if you conduct a program, whenever somebody conducts a program, the most important part of the program, you know what it is? It's a vote of thanks. Vote of thanks. You know why it's important? Because what you say there and what you don't say there, both will have an impact on the people who are listening. Correct? Suppose you miss out acknowledging some people. Somebody donated a lot of money. And if you don't acknowledge them, instead you acknowledge some other people, that person is going to get hurt. Or a lot of people did seva. You acknowledge them. And no, not done. Means that's it. Not what is not said becomes a problem. And you have to carefully say, and in the right order you have to say. So it's a big thing. Why? Because people can get hurt quickly when they are not acknowledged. Okay, so there is that expectation out there. So here anyway, this guy is an anahamvadi, so it doesn't matter. This guy is not going to be impacted by any of that. Then dhriti samanvitaha. Dhriti samanvitaha. Nice. And utsaha samanvita. Two things are mentioned there. Dhriti and utsaha. All right, let's take dhriti. Dhriti means what? This perseverance. The ability to keep at something. Resolve. That willpower. All these are called dhriti. Willpower is there. So the person is not going to be shaken by something that didn't work out. Once or twice or thrice also, it doesn't matter. Person will take it in a stride. That person is called a dhriti samanvitaha. So that person's, then utsaha. Utsaha means what? Enthusiasm is there. Otherwise, what happens? Arambha shuraha. There is a nice Shubhashit. It's a very beautiful Shubhashit. And I'm not able to recall it. I'm sure some of you experts out there know what I'm talking about. And there are. Huh?
It says, Uttama Janaha na Parityajasya, something like that.
Correct. Samajanaha na parityajanti. Whereas the guy, tamasic fellow, arambha shuraha. So immediately, lot of enthusiasm. And then after something didn't work out, you have to go to this office and then wait there for 2 hours. Only then he will sign 4 hours, 5 hours. It's all waste of time. It's all waste of time. And that's it, over, gone. Within 1 day, it's all interest is gone. Enthusiasm died away. So like that, there's a beautiful Subhash. And so this guy is not like that. Dhriti samanvitaha. And so then utsaha samanvitaha. Utsaha is enthusiasm. So just cheerful and practical and not getting carried away by all these negative things. And using things for one's own benefit, for the benefit of others, etc. And so that person has a cheerful attitude. TV, a lot of violence on TV, this, that. YouTube is not good, it spoils children and so on and so forth. Yeah, there is some truth to all that. But let's try to make the best use of it. Let's exude cheer and enthusiasm, okay, as opposed to negativity, like that. So then, Siddhya Siddhyo Nirvikara. I found this to be very interesting. The word Nirvikara is always used for what?
Atma.
Atma.
Atma. Correct. It's always used for Atma. Nirvikara. Means what? Unchanging is the meaning. Unchanging. No change. First time he uses for the person, for a human being, he's using this word Nirvikara. Unchanging. Unchanging means what? Balanced mind. It's not, you can't shake the person. Like the bad news can't just throw him off, or good news will not just, make him jump up, whatever. So that kind of a person is called Nirvikaraha. Siddhya Siddhyoho. Siddhi Asiddhyoho. Two words are there. I mean, it's one word really, but two components, Siddhi and Asiddhi. Siddhi means success. Asiddhi means failure. So we are very clear, we are all clear when we do, whether it's a small thing or a big thing, we are clear about what we want. So that when I get what I want, I say I got Siddhi. When I don't get what I want, Asiddhi can lead to disappointment, etc. So he's saying here, Siddhi Siddhyoho, Nirvikaraha. The person knows karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The person knows very well. Hey, I best effort. I have choice. Karmani eva adhikarahati. I have choice in what I do. How I do also I have choice. But what I get out of what I do is not in my control. Not in my control. He knows very well. Therefore, he will never be surprised, shocked at outcomes. He can say, wait a minute, what did I miss out? Why is it turning out this way? Should I have talked to some people? Should I have bribed some people? Practical, these are all practical things, So all these questions that person should go back and ask all these questions. Did I forget? Did I act as though everything will happen the way I wish? No, that's not the way it should be. So therefore, Vikaraha, it doesn't mean Vedanta is making us like stones. You have to be like stone. You must not have any emotions. Be like a stone. Something happens, good thing happens, don't show your happiness, just keep quiet. Then if something is sad, only then sadness also you can keep quiet. Okay? No, it's not like that. Emotions, we are not trying to control emotions here. We don't want our actions to be driven by emotions. We allow emotions to happen. And don't allow my behavior to be driven, triggered by emotions. Then anger and all that becomes a problem. So if somebody gets angry, I saw Swamiji. So, I won't say he was angry, but it could have made anybody angry. It's upset, whatever you want to call it. Some questions, satsang questions are like that. So, and so, to pause, learn to pause when you have emotions like this. Just, I'm angry now. Swamiji would always say, I'm angry now. Let's talk later. Let's talk later. I'm upset now. I don't know. I don't have any control of whether I will be upset or not. But right now I'm upset. So just let's not have any conversation, because the words that come out of my mouth now, I won't have any control. That's it. That's an excellent way to say. It will take only a few seconds to come out of it. So just give me 1 minute. I'll come back to you. And then just walk away from it. Then come back. I'm sorry, I was upset. And so I had to cool myself down. And so let's have a conversation. So therefore, this anahamvadi and all, dhriti utsaha samanvitaha, how does one become all these things? Well, Krishna is not telling all these things because this is a summary chapter. Krishna has already talked enough about values, and the third chapter, Karma Yoga and all that. Mayi Sarvani Karmani. 3:30, Karma Yoga, summary. Mayi Sarvani Karmani. Sanyasya Chatma Chetasa. Nirashi Nirmamo Bhutva. Okay, Nirashi Nirmamo Bhutva. Mayi Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya. Give all the actions. Give it to me. Means you do what is right. And me means this dharma, this world, this everything that is happening. I'm there right in front of you. So sannyasya, do your best and give it off to me as an arpana. I like you do this Stottara Namavali. Just give it to me. Okay, then what? Nirashihi nirmamo bhutva. Nirmamo bhutva. What a statement it is. Don't have a sense of this I did it idea. Nirmamo bhutva. And therefore nirashihi. Don't be disappointed and all that. Don't have the sense of hopelessness. Okay. Then what? Yudhyasva. Yudhyasva. Go fight, he says. Not simply sit at home and then study Vedanta. No, no, no. When you have to fight, then you have to fight. There's a time to study and there is a time to do what you're supposed to do. And so, these are all, that's Karma Yoga for us. So, very good it is. That's why, you know what? I found this. People, Vedanta can look like a beautiful escape, escape route. You have this escape routes, this emergency exit and all you have. So Vedanta looks like an emergency exit. I hate what I'm doing, okay? All this family and all this is gnawing at my head. And children, this, I thought it was great life, but life is not great, okay? And so is there an exit, emergency exit somewhere? Then Vedanta comes like a breath of fresh air. And then it looks like you are free and therefore you don't have to do anything. You have to be akarta. Akarta means what? Don't do anything. This is the karma. This guy meets a teacher. Teacher doesn't know Vedanta. And then that's a great combination. This escapist meeting a teacher who doesn't know Vedanta. That's an explosive combination. Yeah, Aniruddha, go ahead.
So Samanvita means what exactly?
Samanvita, imbued with, endowed with. A guy who
Dhruti
has
and Utsaha. So someone who has both.
correct. Anvita. Anvita means the guy, it's like the Rasagulla is floating in the liquid. So Rasagulla is all surrounded by that liquid. So this guy has Riti and Utsaha. That's his nature. Anvita. That's the meaning of it. Thank you. So Ishvaratmana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, all that he didn't talk about because he already talked about before. So Karta Satvikaha Uchyate. Such a person is a Satvika Karta. And Swamiji says, don't think it's some kind of a new word. That person is a karma yogi. Don't think something new. Oh my God, Krishna didn't mention all this Sattvika Karta, all these chapters and all. You shouldn't say. And it's person is a karma yogi. All right, let's translate this. Again, Puja Swamiji's translation. The one who is free from sangha, attachment, karma, who has no egotism. Swami Paramarthanandaji translate this as free from egoism. And Dayanandaji says egotism. So you can decide. Just telling you all the things out there so you can think through. Karma, who is endowed with resolve, and enthusiasm. And is unperturbed in success and failure, or unaffected by success and failure is okay. Unperturbed in success and failure is called a Sattvika Karta. So Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva, we saw that long ago, second chapter. Tamatvam Yoga Uchyate, I think that's where it comes, is it not? Yeah. Second chapter, it comes after Karmanya Vadikarasti.
240, 248, 240, 250.
No, where it comes.
47.
48.
48, correct, 48. Yeah, just one sloka after Karmanya Vadikarasti. Good. Okay, let me read this. The one who is free from attachment, who has no egotism, who is endowed with resolve and enthusiasm, and is unperturbed in success and failure, is called a Sattvika Karta. Next sloka, which actually time's up. So we will resume this the next class. Next sloka is going to be Rajasa Karta. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalini Desho Yakshobharahitah Sajjana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om